Hello and welcome to the very first EiP Career Conversation. I'm Lucy Gordon and today I'm joined by me. So I thought I would start this off by sort of interviewing myself, and then later on I'll be getting some guests to come in to interview and hear about their careers and hopefully give you guys some advice around careers, modelling tests, interviews, all that sort of thing as we go through. For those of you who don't know my full background, I am Lucy Gordon and I am the founder of Excel in Property, or EiP. Day to day, my job involves now training. I was previously, when I first started this business, I was doing bespoke model building and sort of being an out-of-house analyst, mostly doing the bespoke model building for people who are either looking to raise money against businesses or against assets, or people who were looking to sort of start in a new direction with their business. So for example, they might have been historically always investing in offices, but they were deciding that they needed to actually change tack and invest in self-storage, and so they wanted a new self-storage model as an example. So I've ended up modelling £3 billion worth of assets across all asset classes for operators, developers and investors, sort of done it all. What first attracted me to real estate actually was the architecture. I really wanted to be an architect when I was younger. Always loved old buildings, but I didn't really want to spend 7 years at university, so I found a different path, which was the real estate management course at Oxford Brookes, and that's how I got into real estate. I ended up being an analyst purely by chance, really. I was very, very good at maths as a child, and when I did my degree at university, I was particularly good at the financial modelling classes. And then when I started looking for a job, I landed a job at Clearbell as an analyst, having done some work experience with them and sort of showed off my Excel skills. They offered me a job at the end of the internship that I was doing there. So before starting out, I think what I had So I was then at Clearbell for 7 years before I then started my own business. And the reason why I started my own business is actually because I was suffering quite badly with depression and anxiety when I was at Clearbell, and I just needed to change. And so I started Excel in Property really by accident, because I handed in my notice. Someone asked me if I would do a bit of freelance modelling, and lo and behold, I started a whole business doing that. What I wish I understood when I first started was actually how important your network is. I think I personally came into the industry, had some friends from university who I was close with because we did a master's, but I didn't realise at that point in time just how good of friends they would become, but also how now in our careers we are the senior people or some of the senior people in the industry, and therefore how impactful having those relationships is. It was something that was drilled into me quite a lot from my senior people at Clearbell at the time, and I'm so glad I listened to them and I maintained all those relationships, because I wouldn't have been able to create the successful business that I've created today if I hadn't actually made friends with those people and maintained those relationships. The biggest learning curve in my career so far actually is probably all around running my own business. I think I learned a lot while I was at Clearbell. I learned a lot of great financial modelling skills, but actually the most difficult bit for me has been running my own business. I think from the outside it looks quite easy to run your own business. It looks like you just do your job, but in reality there's so much more that goes behind that. Things like, and I know a lot of my other people that I work with in small businesses who are just there, 1 or 2 man bands, will say exactly the same thing, is it's not just about you doing the day-to-day job that you are doing as a business. You have to do everything else as well. So you have to be going out and marketing yourself and your business. You have to be doing all your finances and staying on top of your numbers. You have to be raising capital if that's what you're doing. You need to be dealing with lenders and banks and things like that if that's what you're dealing with. there are so many different hats that you wear as a business owner. And I think that for lots of you, you might think about starting your own thing in the future. And I would absolutely love for you to do that because it's so freeing and I feel wonderful running my own business. But it's also a lot of work and it's a lot of stress. So I would urge you to make sure you have a good mentor when you do that, so that you go into it with your eyes wide open in terms of all the things that you need to be on top of, because it's so much more than just being an employee and doing your day-to-day job as an employee. The advice that I give to someone who is at university or in their first year of the industry is really about listening to the people around you and absorbing as much information as possible. Lots of people might get into the workplace or doing some work experience and plug in their headphones, just concentrate on doing that thing. But actually you absorb so much more information from other people. So I would really recommend that you listen to other people, get onto LinkedIn and start following some of the big names in the industry, big companies, but also some of the people who work there, and start forming those connections straight away and start learning from people as soon as you possibly can. The skills that will become more valuable, like obviously I'm a big advocate for financial modelling. It's my whole life. It's not really my whole life, but it's something that I've been doing for a very, very long time. And when I look at job specs now, a lot of them have financial modelling as a skill in there. So I would really recommend that you do all put this effort in, which you're doing if you're part of the EiP Academy anyway. Put this effort into learning financial modelling because it's one of those skills that will be useful for your whole career. Even if one day you stop being an analyst and you become a manager or a director, being able to understand the numbers and understand what your analysts are doing is super helpful as well. Obviously learning about the new technologies and AI and learning the sort of locked box valuation tools is also very, very helpful. But I think understanding the core principles before you get into any of those will be really, really helpful for you as well. So the last question that I will be answering, which not all of the people will be answering, but because I do hiring for the clients that I work with and I help them with the modelling tests, the last question I'm going to answer as part of this is what I'm looking for when I'm hiring candidates and like looking at their modelling tests. And I know I cover quite a lot of this within the modelling test course within the portal, so if you haven't done that and you are sitting modelling tests, please make sure you go and do that. But really the key things for me are you following the instructions? Like, can you follow instructions or do you just go off on your own tangent? I think when you're a very junior person, you might think that your idea is better and your idea might be better, but don't just do it without asking your boss. Like, follow the instruction first or ask why or suggest a better option, because don't just do it. So that's what I'm looking for when I'm marking modelling tests, is like, have you followed the instructions that I've given you? And 2, do you know your own limitations? Like, have you acknowledged the fact that you might not know the answer, you might have run out of time, whatever it is. It's absolutely okay to be human. We're all human, we all make mistakes, we all don't know things, and you as someone who's coming new into a business at whatever level, but particularly if you're a younger person and you're just coming into one of, the first couple of years of your career, you won't know the answers to everything. So accept your limitations and be honest about them with your potential hirers. So that's it from me today. Hopefully you enjoyed this. As I said, I will be getting some other industry people in to answer these questions a bit less awkwardly than I have, because obviously I'll be asking the questions, allowing them to answer. But hopefully you found that interesting, and I will see you in the next episode.